questions.
The spooky season going for the only.
Is this going to keep me up
podcast.
tonight?
This will.
Oh,
For more reasons than one. So first of all, this is the chilling tale of Robert the doll. Pause for effect.
But when you told me you were going to tell me a doll story, I did some searching on dolls. So apparently there's a lot of creepy dolls. So I want to tell you about a little place in Japan.
I don't think I'll sleep ever again after this episode, so thanks, Bobby, for that. Welcome to the Only Stupid Questions podcast, where we ask the questions that may be too stupid to ask. I'm Brandon.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Matt.
Only stupid questions.
Well, did you do anything fun over the weekend while I was gone?
Oh, yeah. I did a couple things.
Yeah?
So I went bowling with the kids on Saturday morning.
Okay, time out. Are you the kind of guy who just no mercies their kids when it comes to bowling? Like you want to show them that daddy's the bowler or okay.
I mean, I don't like totally show off, but like I don't hold back. But recent discovery, found out I have arthritis in my shoulder.
Oh.
And it is killing me. Like I cannot lift my arm higher than that without just like extreme pain, right? So I'm going to physical therapy, and I'm such an old man, and they got me on these anti-inflammatories. But I'm like, let's just get this over with, because we met our out-of-pocket maximum this year because Luke last year broke his arm dancing. I think I told you about that last year, and all his carry-on appointments and Teddy's appointments.
Yeah,
and then Charlie had her tonsils out this year. So I'm like, let's just get this all done. So I go get the x-ray. I've been doing physical therapy. And the doctor contacts me this last week, and he's like, well, you've got arthritis.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm only 40-ish.
Yeah, you old, man.
I think.
You old.
Yeah. But then after, got done with the kids, they did the arcade and stuff. I went to the Fall Festival in Rayford, North Carolina.
Ooh.
Small town, right? I ain't never seen so many people in my life. I didn't know that many people even lived anywhere near here. And I asked my buddy who owns this home goods store downtown, I'm like, is it like this every year? He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, there's a big thing. I'm like, I didn't know there's this many people in this county. He goes, well, everybody kind of hangs out in their own little places until the Fall Festival, and they all come out. And then Sunday, I went to examine some of the damage in western North Carolina.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
So the town of Boone has reopened to tourism, and they're begging for people to come spend money, because that's like where they make the bulk of their money.
Okay.
Is tourism. So we drove up there. We had lunch. There was a lot of damage. And normally we go there to see all the colorful leaves in the fall. Yeah, there weren't a lot of leaves because they all blew off the trees.
Oh, man. So they lost that part of their tourism.
So there's still some leaves and stuff. It just wasn't nearly as pretty as it usually is. But lunch was all right. I bought a T-shirt.
Yeah, Boone. I remember seeing that on the news. It, no joke. They were completely underwater in some cases.
Yeah. So that downtown area, I was there on Sunday. All the water's gone.
Wow.
Those buildings are still there. I ate lunch just like a couple buildings down from there. So they're recovering. And then we went on a walk on a trail down by the river where the flooding was by far the worst. But what you're not realizing is from that picture where you're seeing all that water in that downtown area.
Yeah.
That downtown area is actually quite a ways uphill from where the river is. So for the water to be that deep, that high up, that is absolutely crazy. But down by the river, like, there was this destroyed gazebo that who knows where it came from. It was down near the baseball fields. Wow. So, yeah, a lot of water. Now, Boone didn't even get hit nearly as hard as further south of there, like in Asheville and stuff.
Right,
Asheville's still closed. Black Mountain's still completely closed.
Oh, man.
So it's nuts. It's crazy what happened there with some water and some wind.
Just coming in so quick, too.
Yeah. But the people got good attitudes. They were selling stickers, selling T-shirts. So I got me a couple Carolina Strong T-shirts. I should have wore one today. I got some stickers to put on my laptop.
Cool. Well, good for them. Yeah, and you're right. Tourism. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, so everyone, get out there, support your Western North Carolina people, spend some money, go eat. The other cool thing people are doing who can't go vacationing there, like a campground got completely leveled and destroyed, but people are booking campgrounds there just so that the owners of this place get some revenue to rebuild.
Wow.
Kind of cool.
America.
And then there's this lady complaining on TikTok she can't get her Airbnb refunded.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
That was going the rounds.
Wow.
Anyways, what did you do this weekend?
Golly, we went up to Yellowstone, so it wasn't which, wow. I think we're going to go to Yellowstone in October from now on. I think that's the month to do it. I don't want to share that secret with everybody, but...
My secret is I like to go in February. And you ride snowmobiles. So much fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I do want
Nobody's there. You got the whole place to yourself.
October, we had the whole place. That was really nice. Everything was shut down. There was one general store open, I think. But you're right. Winter would be much more. And typically this time, every year, there's at least a foot of snow up there. And so we got really lucky with some global warming. And yeah, it kept the snow at bay, and West Yellowstone was still popping. So
yeah.
Man, that was fun.
I love West Yellowstone.
Yeah, that's a cool town. It was fun. Kids loved it. Yeah, we made it all the way back. I didn't go bowling. I didn't pull a muscle or anything. So maybe I'm not quite as old as you.
You're a couple years younger. It's coming.
Well, speaking of old, where is he?
Oh, yeah, someone is missing.
I
didn't even notice.
Where that
Matt,
man is.
Where are you?
Okay. Oh, man.
Thought he was awfully quiet.
Man, as if. So, Matty Pooh is not with us just today. So don't you worry. He'll be back next week. He's getting ready for Halloween. That's how much he loves Halloween. That's what we'll say.
I love it.
That's what we'll say his excuses, and we'll excuse him. Actually, we won't, because he's going to call in, much like Bobby did a few weeks ago. And
it was convenient.
Give us his input, because we have a fun subject to dive into. And what I
think
mean,
it was
fun,
just last week.
Yeah, was it? Time flies, man. Time flies. Well, glad to have you back. I should have welcomed you back.
I'm glad I'm back.
Yes, he was back. Now we had I said fun topic. That is not the word. Terrifying, nightmare fuel. Late October.
I like nightmares.
All right. Well, would you mind if I broke into a little story for you?
Tell it to me.
Okay. So what we wanted to kind of tackle, at the beginning of the month, we talked about are ghosts real? We asked the question, are ghosts real? And we just briefly hit on it. We had a split jury. I believed they were and are. Matt, we can talk all the smack we want about Matt since he's not here, but he believes they are not. He is a skeptic when it comes to that. I think, Bobby, you were leaning more towards the fact that they are real.
They're there.
They're totally there. All right. Well, we'll just live in our echo chamber here without any opposition, and we'll just continue that topic. What I came across, this was a few years ago. I'm watching Discovery Travel Channel. It was one of them. And they were visiting some of the most haunted places in the country. Well, this particular episode focused on haunted objects and really, really creeped me out. So I wanted to share that story once again with the audience to kind of keep the spooky season going for the only.
Is this going to keep me up
podcast.
tonight?
This will.
Oh,
For more reasons than one. So first of all, this is the chilling tale of Robert the doll. Pause for effect. I think, okay. He's got.
Oh, you want an effect?
I'm just saying, how are you feeling about it so far? I mean, it shares the name.
Well, I personally think dolls are a little creepy anyway.
Right.
And I think I've told you stories about some dolls from my past.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Chucky doll that got hidden in all the apartments, and the landlord found it. Yeah.
That was a great story.
Yeah, so dolls are creepy. My daughter has a lot of dolls. Some of them have no heads.
What? Why?
Well, they fall off. She might pull them off. Her brothers might pull them off.
Well, take a look at this bad boy.
Oh.
So this is
What is
Robert.
that?
This is Robert the doll. I'd like to introduce you to your doll, Bobby.
That is
Ready for
creepy.
this? Yeah, you ready for this? So this is Robert the doll, everybody. For those of you listening, Google it. I'll wait. No,
Robert the
let's
doll.
Let's keep going. So this is kind of a creepy, unsettling story here about Robert the doll, one of the most infamous haunted objects in the world. So this is something I came across on TV. You may have heard of cursed dolls before, but this guy's legacy is next level.
More than
so
Chucky?
Yeah, so we'll get to Chucky when it comes to Robert here. His story starts in the early 1900s, Key West, Florida, where a young boy named Robert Eugene Otto, or Gene, was given a strange doll by one of his family's servants. So, rich kid. This wasn't just any doll, it stood about 3 feet tall. So as you're looking at this picture, 3 feet tall, dressed as a sailor. So he's in a little sailor suit here. And was said to have been stuffed with straw. But what really sets this doll apart is the legend that followed after he was given to Gene. So he quickly became Gene's constant companion. You know how little kids latch onto their favorite toy.
So this kid's dragging around a 3-foot tall doll?
Right, like almost life-size to this kid.
That's like a toddler.
That's
a large
exactly
toddler.
Right. Exactly right. So before long, strange things began to happen in the Otto household. Gene's parents would often hear him talk to the doll, which is not unusual. My kids talk to objects and they play house and toys, and maybe your kids did the same.
Still do.
So it's not unusual for a child to do this, except they swore that they heard a voice responding to the child. So these are the parents now, noticing something's going on here. At night, they would hear loud footsteps coming from Gene's room. Furniture would be overturned without explanation. When Gene, the child, was questioned, he always insisted, Robert did it. So this is a famous...
How convenient.
A famous saying. It's on bumper stickers where you... Anyway, this doll's on display. They sell merch. A lot of the merch says, Robert did it. So this is a big deal here. Now, as Gene grew older, the strange occurrences continued. Robert became a fixture in the household, had his own chair by the window. Neighbors claimed to have seen the doll move from window to window when nobody was home. So now we have neighbors in on it. Multiple witnesses outside the house. There's something going on here. Even after Gene's death in 1974, Robert's eerie reputation did not die. The doll was
how old
moved.
was Gene when he died in 74?
Let's see. He would have been quite old if this began in the early 1900s. So,
And he kept this doll his whole life.
this doll was so famous and such a part of the family's life that it had its own chair by the window for years and decades, and absolutely, it looks like they kept it around.
It's kind
Look
of
at
an
this.
ugly doll. Why would you keep that around?
And if you look at a lot of toys from that era, they were all kind of creepy, weren't they? I don't know. That one's kind of blurry.
That one has like no face.
But look at this thing. It's like a cork.
Now, are both of those the same
face.
one?
That is the same doll.
It's like its mouth is sewn shut in that one.
Right? Man, it's creepy.
And now that other one you've got there looks like a creepy smile.
For sure.
Is this a artist rendition of Robert the Doll?
Yeah, that was a artist rendition. Now, here's where things get even crazier. So they.
Well, hold on.
Again,
Who is Robert holding? Is that Robert Steffi?
Yeah. So Robert has a toy. Isn't that something? So
is that a dog?
That toy would move. Yeah, it's a dog. So things would move without explanation. People claim they saw and heard him. And that reputation did not die with Gene. The doll was moved to Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, where it's on display to this day. And that's when the real haunting stories began to spread. And so this thing was so creepy. Bizarre encounters with Robert continued. Many claim that if you take a picture with him without asking permission or going through the proper ritual, things will happen to you.
Now, do you have to wait for Robert to respond to know you have permission?
What's going on there? So in the, I believe it was the Travel Channel, in that episode, the host of the show approached Robert and asked him, "May I take a picture with you, Robert?" And then he paused until he felt comfortable to do it. So he didn't necessarily hear anything, but he said, "Okay, I feel like he's going to let us do this." So they filmed it. They took the picture with him. But here's what happens afterwards. If you do not follow the proper protocol, if you do it rudely, if you make fun of Robert, so be careful, people listening to this. If you've laughed at this so far, yikes.
Now, do you have to be in person of Robert to not make fun of him, or is he like omnipresent?
That's the thing that makes this so crazy. So people have reported accidents, broken relationships, sudden illnesses, you name it. It's happened to people both in person and people just looking them up on the internet. The museum receives hundreds of letters from people apologizing to Robert, begging for forgiveness in hopes of reversing the bad luck they experienced after disrespecting him, either in person or over the internet.
All right, Robert, I'm sorry for saying you're an ugly doll.
Me too. I respect you, Robert. I think that you're a stand-up guy and true American.
I feel like there should have been a disclaimer before you told me this story.
This is like The Ring.
'Cause-
Wait, watch this videotape real quick. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Did I just get everybody? So there are even reports of people hearing the doll giggle or seeing his expression change. And so it's funny that you mentioned the difference in his face, Robert.
Well, yeah, on the left side right there, it almost looks like he's making a kissy face type thing.
Right.
On the right, it looks like someone sewed his mouth shut and like Friday the 13th-ish. There he looks like he has no face. There he looks super innocent. But then that drawing of him looks like a creepy smile.
Real creepy, because the artist experienced Robert a different way. He felt like he had an evil smirk on his face.
Yeah.
And that it changed as he was observing and painting Robert. So people have reported, as they go to take a picture or film Robert, that the cameras malfunction. They feel an oppressive energy when they get too close. The museum even displays some of those apology letters as kind of proof. You know, people really do write in. They have experienced tragedy in their own life, and they feel Robert did it.
Wow.
Whew! So, to say the least here, he's earned his place as one of the most feared and haunted objects in history, so much so a certain killer doll was fashioned and created after his legend. One that you mentioned earlier.
Chucky.
Robert. Chucky.
Well, why didn't they make Chucky look more like Robert rather than Chucky?
And he looks pretty creepy, man. I think, and I mean this in the most respectful way, Robert the doll. I mean this in the most respectful way possible. But you could argue Chucky's a little creepier. Can we
Yeah.
agree there? Okay.
I mean, Chucky doesn't look like Popeye the Sailor. And
no, he doesn't.
like Chucky could actually scare you. I think if Robert's so scary, why is he looking so innocent there?
Man, I don't know. Anyway, that is the legend of Robert the doll. You can go and you yourself can see Robert in person to pay your respects. So,
I don't know that I'm going to visit there.
oh, okay. We're going to pass on that next time we're in Key West.
Next time I'm in Key West, I don't think I'm going to see that museum because I don't think I could resist laughing or smirking a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yep, that's next level, man. I thought that was really, really interesting. Again, super respectful. Much respect to you, Robert the doll. I just wanted the people to be aware that you exist and what they can do to potentially gain favor in your eyes. And anyway,
Yeah, all praise to Robert the doll.
oh, okay.
All right. Well, speaking of dolls, Brandon.
Okay.
When you told me you were going to tell me a doll story, which that blew me away, by the way. I'd never heard this story before. But when you told me you were going to tell me a doll story, I did some searching on dolls. And that's why I texted you earlier. I'm like, hey, is one of these doll stories I found the one you're going to tell me tonight? And surprisingly, no. So apparently there's a lot of creepy dolls. So I want to tell you about a little place in Japan, a small city called Nagoro. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's tiny. Okay. The population at this point is roughly, let's see, there's 27 breathing humans, is what this article describes.
Wait, they said 27 breathing humans? Is how they describe
27
it?
Breathing humans. As in, there used to be more humans, they're just no longer breathing. They have passed on.
We're off to a great start here. Okay.
Yeah. So the youngest resident of this city is over the age of 50. And I'm not sure when this article was written, but we'll just go with over the age of 50 at this time. So, small, teeny tiny town. It sounds like it's probably smaller than the town that I grew up in. Actually, it had to have been smaller than the town I grew up in because
smaller than Beaverdale?
My family would have made up like a fourth of the population of 27 people. And so we probably had like 90 to 100 people, I guess, in my hometown. But in this tiny Japanese town, there is an artist by the name of Tatsuki Ayano. And as residents began to die or move away, he began making replica dolls of, it's not a he, it's a she. I totally messed that up.
Okay.
Tatsuki Kimi Ayano is a female. So she began making replica dolls of her neighbors. Wow. And now the population of dolls in that town outnumber the residents by about 10 to 1.
10 to 1?
Yeah. These are life-size dolls. These aren't just little dolls like a rag doll that you see on a shelf or a chair. These are life-size dolls that are all over the city, and they're made to look like these people who died or moved away.
Or moved away.
Yeah, so they're sitting in various positions all across town. There's fishermen sitting on the riverbank. There's students that are filling up an entire classroom of students in the classroom. There's elderly couples resting on benches outside of buildings. So there's around 350 dolls now. There's the 27 breathing humans. So I don't think I want to visit there.
No way.
Would you want to go?
No.
Yeah. A little creepy.
Just show people what you're talking about here. Holy cow.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to show? Okay. Let's see if I can get this.
If you've got it, I've got a few pulled up here too.
Yeah. Go ahead and pull it up.
Golly.
Yeah. Look at those.
Those are life size.
Isn't that cute?
Now, Bobby, did you bring this up because you recently moved away from close to my proximity, and I failed to make a doll of your likeness?
Well,
Are you
I
trying
kind
to
of
throw...
feel like you should have made a doll to like leave around.
I'm sorry,
the fact that
man.
you didn't.
Kind of a friend am I?
I mean, in my will and in my instructions when I die, I have not just politely asked, but demanded that I be taken to the taxidermist so that I can be stood up in the living room for my family to enjoy for all time. So now that I see a whole city, it's basically done that. Like, my request is not nearly as creepy.
Wow. Now, does this have anything to do with Japanese population collapse, which they're having issues with? I mean, there's only 27 residents. They're all over the age of 50. Does she just want to make this place look more full and more like the old days? Or, yeah,
I don't know. Maybe she's lonely, needs a couple friends. Maybe trying to just make the town look full so people won't move in.
Wow.
Who knows? But creepy nonetheless. Now, if you thought that was creepy, I came across yet another place that has some dolls. Now, this one is, let's see, where's it at? It's in Mexico.
Oh,
now,
is this the one we mentioned?
So I didn't really know how to pronounce this, so I had to look it up. But it's Xochimilco,
Okay.
Mexico.
Okay.
This is known as the Island of the Dolls. So this place, this is the primary reason this whole place is known. It's hidden.
We mentioned this, just for those listening, that we mentioned this a few weeks ago on the podcast.
We did.
Here it is again. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I thought that was going to be the real story you told me, deeper into that. But this place is famous. There's hundreds of dolls, doll parts. They're hanging from trees. They're scattered among the grass. These pictures are creepy if you want to pull up a few of them. Like, these aren't like little dolls that kids would want to play with in just a fun wonderland. They're creepy. Now, when you brought it up a few weeks ago, we didn't really go into like deep detail other than like it was there, right? Well, there was a guy who's now deceased, but his name was Julian Santabera, and he found a girl's dead body in a nearby canal. So he began collecting and displaying these toys in hopes of warding off evil spirits, I guess,
so that's why he did
make the girl who died. Yeah, that's why he did it.
That's why he did it.
So as these dolls have been hanging there, they've obviously gotten more and more decrepit as, you know, the elements have applied. And I wouldn't be shocked if other people have added to the collection. I don't know if that's true or not. But they're just scattered all over. So daring souls now can hire a boat to take them up through these canals if you can convince a boat driver to take you. And then you could view the dolls safely from the water.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, I don't think this is a place I want to visit.
No. What holy cow. And so, because of this little girl, is she haunting him? I think we had mentioned that might be the case. But you mentioned just in general evil spirits.
Yeah, right? He wanted to ward off evil spirits after he found the dead girl.
Yeah, these are next level creepy, man. Oh, good. He's got a Guinness World Record out of it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, these are creepy dolls. Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
So, people like to decorate for Halloween, right? We talked about it last week or the week before, I think. I want to know why nobody has recreated this in their yard. This would freak a guy out. Oh, like, if you want to do a haunted decoration, may I refer you to these pictures?
Oh, my goodness. Look at this.
You could probably find several of these dolls at Goodwill, Deseret Industries, whatever. You could really creep the whole town out.
Yep. Yeah, I think there'd be some complaints. Your candy bowl would be full at the end of the night, I think.
Yeah.
I don't
So I
think
don't know.
there's
If
limit to that.
anybody has some old dolls they want to send to me, I am willing to do this in my yard for next year. I don't have
Oh,
time
my
this year.
goodness. Oh, yikes. And you want your family to still live with you, I guess. That's
Yeah, I might get in trouble for that one, but I'm willing to risk it.
crazy.
So, any scary places you don't want to visit?
Oh man, there's so many. so many so many places I don't want to go. Um Columbus, Ohio is one of them for no particular reason. Uh Other than
Have you ever been there?
I've been plenty of times.
I've never
I'm
been.
just an Ohio State hater. Sorry, everybody. Columbus is fine.
Hey,
Okay.
you have your reasons.
I do, and I'm not afraid of them. I'm not scared of no Buckeyes.
Well, I'll tell you another place I never want to go to that I discovered. There is a hospital in Portugal that is a doll hospital.
What?
Now, I didn't know there was more than one of these, but apparently it's the oldest surviving doll hospital.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and this all sounds well and good. It's a place where you can send your dolls to get repaired and restored. That sounds great, right? So this is called the Hospital de Bonecas. And it's considered a hidden treasure. It's tucked between some storefronts and one of Lisbon's busiest shopping streets. This hospital has been operating in the same spot since 1830. So this is a commitment, right?
1830.
Yeah, there is a 4-month waiting list to have your dolls taken care of by the loving staff. I find this a little bit creepy and unnerving because, there is cabinets full of heads, glass eyes. There's beds that are filled with these patients. And have you seen Nightmare at the museum?
Nightmare? Night at the museum?
Night at the museum, not Nightmare. Night at the museum. There's 3 of them. You'd think I could get it right. Can you imagine this place coming alive at night?
Or Toy Story? Yeah, come on. Get out of here with all this. Get out.
How come this hasn't been made into a scary movie?
Yikes, man. Doll Hospital. What a great name for a movie. Doll Hospital.
You know, we talked a few weeks ago about how Hollywood's run out of ideas. Hey, Hollywood, I just found you several ideas.
Listen to the Only Stupid Questions podcast, and you will get some ideas. We'll take a meager 5-10% of your box office, and you just come to us for these ideas. This one's super creepy, Bobby. Thanks for this.
Yeah.
What in the world, man?
We got a few movies here that could come out next Halloween.
This is an active hospital. Like you said, there's a huge wait list.
4 months to get your doll repaired.
I'm not even afraid of dolls. I wouldn't go in there. Come on. Maybe this is a new fear for me. Dolls. Oh, man. Especially after reading about Robert the doll. And then there's Annabelle. We didn't even mention Annabelle. They've made an entire series based on an actual doll called Annabelle. So that's something that people at home can Google. And then who knows what Matt's going to pick. Man, he might take us to the next level and really make us not sleep.
He might. Matt might actually have some of these dolls in his closet.
He might. You and I have been in his home, but we haven't seen every closet. We haven't seen every room.
Yeah, I'm not looking either.
Yeah, I'm not either. No way. Well, let's speaking of Matt, speaking of our old buddy, let's hear from him. Let's hear what Matt has chosen as his creepy story for the month of October 2024 on the Only Spooky Questions podcast. Hey, this is Matt. I'm calling in with a really creepy story. It's all about... What do you think he's going to say?
I don't know. I think he's going to call and talk about something really stupid.
Really dumb. So we're predicting really dumb, Matt.
Yeah. It's going to be dumb.
It's going to be so dumb.
Hey, fellas. No pick on this one, but I thought it would be interesting to point out why some people are scared of dolls. So the fear of dolls is known as pediophobia, and it often arises from the uncanny valley effect, where lifelike but slightly off appearances evoke discomfort. Horror media reinforces this fear, like Chucky, portraying dolls as malevolent, which leads people to associate them with danger. As in my case, I hate dolls. Childhood experiences can also have lingering unease, as fixed, expressionless doll faces may disturb children. So, evolutionary psychology suggests that dolls, with their human-like but immobile features, can trigger a survival response due to their paradoxical aliveness. Say that 10 times fast. Additionally, automatobophobia, and I'm sure I slaughtered that, the fear of inanimate objects coming to life contributes to the fear of dolls seemingly unpredictably animated. So there it is. Thanks, guys. Check you later.
Well, thank you, Matt. I don't think I'll sleep ever again after this episode. So thanks, Bobby, for that. Thanks to your counterpart, the doll.
You started it with that doll
I did.
story, which
I have nobody to blame. And then hopefully we'll have Matt back next week. We'll be in November before you know it. Election season 2024. Looking forward to my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. Man, 'tis the season. It's here already.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to dress up for Halloween?
The plan is my daughter is going to be Taylor Swift. T-Swizzle.
Are you going to be Travis Kelce?
I am going to be her bodyguard. Because
Nice.
I don't want to wear a Chiefs jersey. No offense to you, Bobby.
That's why I was asking.
Okay. I don't hate the Chiefs. I just, I'm not going to. And I didn't want to be my daughter's boyfriend. So
That
would
be weird.
I'm going to be her bodyguard. The little one will be a princess. I'll be her bodyguard too. So I'm just going to go around the neighborhood with an earpiece and dressed in all black. I think we're going to keep it simple. So
Nice. I like it.
yeah.
Well,
yeah. You got any
my
family
wife was in charge
outfits?
of our costumes this year.
Okay.
And last year, actually. Why did she get 2 years in a row?
Hey, that's how it goes. No question.
We're doing Barbie theme. So she's being one of the Barbies in like a pink jumpsuit.
Sure. That's good.
My mom's here visiting us, so she's going to be the weird Barbie
Oh, nice.
from the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that is my favorite Barbie in that movie because just like super weird. So my mom's doing that.
Yeah.
And then I
just saw-
cheated and
I
just
saw
got
one.
me a hoodie that says, I'm Ken Nuff.
I'm Knuff. I'm
Ken Nuff.
Oh, that's good.
And then my son Luke is going to be like the cowboy Ken.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It'll make sense. Okay.
Yeah. And then the rest of the kids, they're like poo-pooed on the family idea. And my daughter's got her an inflatable of an alien, so it looks like she's being like
She's being
kidnapped by an
abducted.
alien.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's
need
funny
to-
to look at, but it doesn't fit
need
the
to
theme.
Time capsule.
George is... I'm a horrible father. I don't even remember what George is going to be. Hopefully, I know who he is when we go trick-or-treating. And then Teddy's doing something, too. But,
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. Maybe 10 years from now, we're not gonna remember what some of these costumes are. Here's that abducted costume.
yeah.
That's-
Yeah, she's got the kid version of it.
I want people to remember this one. I think it's funny, some of the videos some of these kids have done. They're pretty convincing. But,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, again, look
Yeah,
forward
should be fun.
to hearing from everybody how Halloween went. We'll get Matt back. And we'll see if I got any sleep. We'll see if the lizard made it out of Bobby's garage. All sorts of things to follow up on. So
Yeah.
thanks for popping on, Bobby. At
Lots
least
to
you
come
did.
back next week for. Like us,
Yeah.
follow us, subscribe to us.
That's right. Good call. Have a good night,
Smash
Bob.
that follow button.
Ooh, smash it. Hey, thanks for listening to the Only Stupid Questions podcast. Give us a like and a subscribe. please leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast.
Only stupid questions.